Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited. Today's Batchery prompt is number 74. A limited access suburb is created wherein every man, woman, or child is hypno-trained with elite level combat skills. Imagine one of them walking in on a crime. Okay. Um, there's a supervillain who rarely sets foot on U.S. soil, but he managed to, with his connections, create a suburb called Worthyville. Where is Worthyville? Probably in the middle of America, some nice little suburb near a not so large city. Limited access, meaning that if he doesn't think you belong there, you will never live there. Something will always drive you out. He has psychics, and they probably do the controlling of who can and who doesn't live there. Um, a lot of minions live amongst the normal population, and when the locals sleep, they go into their heads and condition them with whatever needs to be taught, how to be minions, weapons, tactics, the whole shebang, loyal to a fault, with personality triggers. Then they leave. And anyone who is looking at the demographics of Worthyville basically sees that no one stays there. It's almost like the perfect way station suburb, and they send people all over the world. So this villain basically created his Worthyville before he even made his presence felt. Like he had organizations to pay the bills for this project, but he didn't even try to take over the world yet until he built his army out of Worthyville. And I don't mean the rank and file people, I mean the mid-range upper management types. And that was his mistake. So basically, once they're all done, once the psychics are all set, basically there would be a triggering process. And he would send somebody to one of his upper minions, and the upper minion would say the triggering phrase in that person's presence. The person would go, "Are you my boss?" And that's what the triggering phrase would result in you. You slip into a trance and you go, "Are you my boss?" And the person goes, "Yes, yes, I am your boss." Okay. And that person would follow you through hell and high water, and would not be a mind control, a hypno slave or anything. Would be perfectly lucid, perfectly calm, but flipped. So you could have somebody who is completely nice, completely kind. Are you my boss? Yes. Click. Becomes a loyal henchman willing to go into a kindergarten and just kill everybody. Completely loyal to a fault. Might still have that nice facade, but is completely ruthless. And for years, Worthyville spawned some of his best minions until some black ops profiler number cruncher team figures out that every last person who seems to kick butt came from the same zip code. What? So they hit Worthyville, the U.S. government, probably a few other governments if they allowed them in, and basically just ground this place down. And underneath the city are layers and layers and like levels and levels of an underground base. And so now it's like, okay, we have to find all these people. But the conditioning is such that it only triggers for two situations. One, someone reads the phrase, or two, you come across violence. Someone you care about, something involving you. So they don't execute them. They try to undo the conditioning and they never do. So basically they come up with a list of all the people who ever lived in Worthyville who were never triggered, and they let them live their lives, but they keep an eye on them. And that's the story. And maybe end it with somebody from Worthyville moving to a town in Milwaukee who walks in on a home invasion in his own house, and the world just goes insert weird color. And when he wakes up, bad guys are dead, and his family's cringing in a corner, going, "What did you do? What'd you do, honey? What are you talking about?" And you're covered in blood, and you're holding a lamp in one hand and a baseball bat in the other, and you're covered with cuts. But basically, you just brutalize these two, and they're dead. Now, if you want to go off prompt, how would you do it? Maybe it is a small town in the middle of nowhere. It's too sci-fi channel. There's always a small town in the middle of nowhere where weird stuff works. That's what I like about the suburb. But small town, middle of nowhere. Maybe it's where the hypno trainers create the next generation of supervillains or superheroes. Maybe superhumans are encouraged to move to Worthyville, and if you live there long enough and walk away, whatever your powers were, you can use them to save the day. Maybe it's a town that attracts the cursed and gives you a chance at redemption. Maybe not the hypno training part, but just through action and sacrifice. Maybe if you find a way to break the curse, you can, if you want to break the curse, go to Worthyville, and it's like got nothing but occultists living there in plain sight, working day jobs. But when the sun goes down, when no one's looking, they study the occult, they do the occult. Some are good, some are evil, but they always welcome the cursed because it was founded by someone who's cursed, so they respect the cursed. Different ways to write it. How would you write it? Okay, I'll stop there. I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. Please check out talesunlimited.net. That's where the podcasts are. 2 of them. The Batchery Daily Prompt and a Disturbing Thought of the Day will go forth every single day as long as I can. And then there are the book links. They'll take you to Amazon. Hit a link. Books are available in print and ebook. Please check them out. So what are these books? Well, there's the Batchery series. 200 unusual writing prompts and a little wisdom on how to write that first novel. It's for people who try to get that first novel done and they may lose years of their lives trying because they don't have a system. Well, Batchery has a system. It's a challenging one, but if you go through it, all the way through it, you will have books to sell. You can build your brand, make money, build your fan base while you're working on your first novel. How's that for different? And there's storytelling for everybody. If you use these prompts, there's something there for every storyteller imaginable. I mean, an evil GM, short story writer, game designer, screenwriter, comic book writer, a novelist with 20 books already. Well, the novelist is like, why would I need a Batchery system? Well, 200 unusual writing prompts. Take one, spin it your way, and poof, you may have a novel series. Give it some thought. And let's see. Short story anthologies. Think New School Twilight Zone. 25 stories to a book. The themes are unheroic, unlikely heroes saving the day. Like there's one called The Winning Ticket. What if you won a $500 million lottery prize, lost the ticket until it expired, then you found it, and you're telling this story to the bartender about how you lost this jackpot, and then you step outside, you get mugged, carjacked. Of course, you parked near a fire hydrant that wasn't there. You stepped in dog poop. It's raining on you after all of this happens, and you just eat gum because this is just a typical day of your life for like the last 16 months. And standing next to you is an invisible demon who's screaming, "Kill yourself already!" And I won't even tell you who's saving the day in this story because that would spoil it. And then there's the Book of Schemes. Diabolical, silly, normal, abby-normal. I even threw in a Western. Something like Knave the Clown. You have a friend who's getting married. You're the best man. You're throwing him a bachelor party. He doesn't want strippers or anything like that. Nothing too raunchy. So you're going to take him out for, feed him, get him a little bit drunk, and you're going to end it at a comedy club. But you have his fiance waiting for him in a nightie. Because in your opinion, every bachelor party should end a little bit wrong, right? So the last stop is his comedy club, and this guy hits the stage, and he's Knave the Clown. He's dressed up like a clown, even though he has horns coming out of his head. And when he starts telling jokes, people start dying, and he starts feeding. Ugh, that's Schemes. And then there is the I Villain series, working on the 5th book now. It's about Benjamin Clyde, gentleman fixer, dude in a suit. In a town called Pillar City, he is riding high because when the heroes got wiped out last year, he helped. When governments need somebody to save somebody, kill somebody, start an ethnic cleansing, he's the guy. What's his secret? He has the best mercs in the game. He has fine talent, people with superpowers. A lot of them are villains, and he uses them like a general, like a chess master. So everyone loves Clyde. Even demons use this guy. The Vatican uses this guy. All sides of the law use this guy. And then one night, he has a really powerful man killed. And the powerful man has friends, and they're like, okay, this dude had it coming. You were right to do it. but that's a guy you can't kill, so you're gonna have to pay for it. So they give him a bunch of crappy options, and then when the smoke clears, he settles on community service. What is that? You give up all your money, fire all your minions, can never be a crook again. And as for Pillar City, the town where this is all happening, he can never leave. And if he doesn't fight crime there every night, they'll kill him. If anyone helps him, they're dead too. So he must personally fight crime. This guy with a burger gut, and his life expectancy is laughable. But no one knows about his past or the powers he doesn't use so much. So he's like, all right, I'll do it. As long as you don't kill me, stay out of my path, I'll do it. And they don't think he's going to last, but what does he do? He not only lasts, he not only saves the world a few times, he starts his own business, and he calls it iVillain. Well, what is iVillain? Well, he goes after the worst villains. With heroes being in short supply, he decides to take over the world-saving game, the way a villain would do it. Kill the worst of the worst, take their stuff, move on to the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, relentlessly. He doesn't care about purse snatchers. He doesn't care about bank robbers. He cares about the worst. Okay, I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. See you tomorrow.